This next project I'm doing a book on this new on this new style of development that's kind of carpeting all of Mexico, and it started about 7 years ago when the Mexican president took over. So there had been this ruling party, the PRI, and it finally disappeared, and the PAN party came, and part of the platform of the president from the opposing party was that he was going to build 2 million homes for Mexico, and whenever he would go into smaller cities, he would promise that part of that amount would get built in the cities. And now if you go on Google Maps and you look at neighborhoods, well, you look at cities from above, cities in Mexico from above, from satellite photos, you see these they look a little bit like scars on a whale. It's these massive, I mean, these massive developments of row houses that just repeat endlessly. That this is from a helicopter, and you can't really fit the entire neighborhood in the frame of the camera. You really do need a satellite photo. But this neighborhood is, oh man, I think I'm getting my facts confused. This is 42,000 or 45,000, something like that. And there's another one in development right now that's supposed to be 80,000 homes. So I'm really curious about the experience of growing up there. And this is right south of Mexico City. I live in Mexico City and New York. I go back and forth. But I actually grew up in a very small town in the north of Mexico, and it's a town of 200,000 people, but now they built like behind the town. You see to the left, kind of see the ocean and just get an idea of like that's the village. But behind the hills, they built these row houses for regular citizens, and this is just kind of the marketing of the homes. These are actually 2 houses, but they're designed to fool the eye. You can't really get a sense of how small they are because they're built so continuous that you don't know where one begins and one ends. This is inside one of the houses. I'm interested in how people make do with the space. This is how when you purchase a home, this is how it's given to you by the company. There's 4 developers in the country that got the consignments from the government to produce the homes. The government used to build homes for lower income, but now all they do is provide the loans, and now these 4 developers, and one of them is HDA, and now in the door says, this is your new HDA house. And this is the exact width of the house. They're sort of starter homes. Just what it's like. And this is the meeting point of one developer and the other. The pink brick is a trademark of HDA that allows them to build the houses without having to paint them, because it's already like a pinkish color. And the other one is on the right is Urbi, another one of the developers. So the houses you can see are very small, and people aren't really allowed to build outside to expand them, but these people did, and they have the biggest house on the block. These people decided, I know, but it's actually pretty tragic because they were telling me that they bought the house and they realized that there wasn't anything for kids to do within like 30 minutes drive, no event halls, because there's no zoning really. There's requirements from the government to build school, like a school, but up to elementary school, no high school, a park, but really no churches, like if you want to have, like, there's a lot of parties that, like rites of passage parties in Mexican culture, and there's nowhere to host them, so these people decided to turn their house into an event castle. And that's where every, like, weddings happen there, neighborhood meetings. This is inside one of the houses. It's a neighborhood about to get developed. And they're usually very isolated. It's farmland that got their land grants during the I'm digressing, but there was the agrarian, is that a word in English? Agrarian revolution at the turn of the century, and a lot of land was given to farmers for free under the condition that they provided agriculture for the country. But one of the ways that the president, the 2 million homes promise, was made possible is they turned these agrarian lands into residential areas, and they're usually very isolated in the middle of nowhere. That's why they're easy to find on Google Earth, because you just suddenly see these big sections of developed land. There's really not a lot to do around there. No restaurants. So these guys opened a crepe store in their house, on the bottom floor. There's not enough water, so this guy's got a bucket to ration. These are the neighborhood kids. Neighborhood dogs. And this is a park. As I was saying, by law, the developers are required to allot a certain amount of land to public space, and you can imagine they're trying to save as much land as possible so they can put in more homes, but so whatever they're required to do as a public park, they bring in one section. So in order to get to this park, you would have to walk for 20 minutes. And there's such a demand for housing that there's not a lot of questioning of these types of development. And this is in the 2 years that I've been photographing. And I've been shooting all around the country, and this is the only time that I've seen any protest against the developments. And this reads, in defense of water and soil, no to developments. Just caught my attention because it was unique.